This is Johannesburg, South Africa, the so-called City of Gold. Less than a century ago, the view that we now behold was nothing more than a wilderness, inhabited by primitive natives and wild animals. Then came the voortrekkers, families of early white settlers, mostly of Dutch extraction, who arrived in covered wagons, pitched their tents, and founded the city that is now called Johannesburg. The early settlers were farmers, humbly seeking a peaceful existence, far from the madding crowds of civilization. But while digging into the soil they had chosen for their farms, someone accidentally turned up a few prized nuggets of gold, the news of which flashed around the world, and almost overnight, Johannesburg was transformed into one of the most hectic El Dorados in the history of gold mining. The population of the city is about 800,000. And it is made up of a heterogeneous mixture of all colors, creeds, and nationalities. In population, wealth, and influence, the center of the Union of South Africa has moved more and more towards the southern portion of the Transvaal, where lie the world's richest gold fields, the Witwatersrand. The name means the ridge of white waters, and it is derived from the low range of hills, down the sides of which the first settlers could see streams of running water. Thousands of gold miners work beneath the surface in this area, and indisputable evidence of their labors for the past 70 years is revealed in the numerous mine dumps that have risen around Johannesburg. Most of the physical labor for the mines is recruited from native territories throughout South Africa. And here we see a number of natives who have qualified for mine work, jubilantly leaving their kraals en route to the mines where they hope to earn enough money to return to their native haunts and live like gentlemen of leisure. Their contact with life and labor in the outside world, however, may change their plans about returning, for it is not unusual for men who are recruited from native territories to serve their contracts with the mines and then seek employment in the cities as detribalized natives. After arriving at their destination, they will receive preliminary training and within a surprisingly short time emerge as full-fledged miners, such as we see here. The period of service for which they are contracted usually lasts from 6 months to 2 years, and during that time they live in native compounds within the mine areas where the utmost care is provided for their health and general well-being. At the time of our visit, the gold mining industry of South Africa had over 330,000 employees, a vast majority of whom were natives. Man has discovered many methods for extracting gold from the earth, but the cyanide method, which is used by the South African mines, has proved to be the most efficient. Rocks containing gold ore are loosened by miners working at varying depths as far as 10,000 feet. These rocks are then sent to the surface in fast-moving elevators, and the portions that are found to contain gold are crushed into sizes such as we see in this pile. A ton of crushed ore usually has a gold content about the size of these tiny nuggets. The rocks are further crushed until the gold in them becomes fine dust, which is melted in red-hot furnaces at 1,000 degrees centigrade. Over 5,000 tons of ore have to be treated in order to produce 1,000 ounces of bullion gold, and this is perhaps the most fascinating stage of the whole process. Several containers are melted at the same time, and their precious contents are poured into crucibles. There are about 40 companies producing gold in South Africa, and the annual value of production is approximately $300 million. The largest pure nugget of gold yet to be discovered was found in Victoria in 1869, just beneath the surface of a wagon track. It was called the Welcome Stranger, and it weighed 2,520 ounces. After cooling, the gold is shaped into bars like this. And if you think they're not heavy, just try and lift one. Careful, young lady, that one bar is worth about $35,000. This is Sunday, and it is our privilege to see the tribal dances that are staged by the natives of the mine compounds for the entertainment of visitors as well as for their own amusement. The instruments that are being pounded here are known as Kaffir pianos, and they are usually made by the men who play them. There is keen competition between the performing groups, prizes being awarded for unique ideas in costuming as well as in dancing. Aside from dancing, these fine specimens of physical manhood are a good illustration of how the natives are fed and cared for during their period of mine service. But unfortunately, after leaving the mines and becoming detribalized, many of them lose their former pep and appear to be more contented with easy-going, sedentary life. Music in any form plays an important part in native life, and it is not unusual for a solitary native to walk for miles along a country road, casually strumming a guitar or tugging at a concertina. Although many of the detribalized natives still live in poor districts, there are also a great number that have established themselves in clean and modern homes, as illustrated here. According to plans now in effect by the authorities in charge of improved housing condition for the natives, the poor living quarters around the mines are destined to be completely abolished. And it is here that we say farewell to Johannesburg, the city of gold.